You're here for the Winter 2024 Rally Showcase. I was looking at winter and I looked at to double check. Our heat index today is around 100 degrees here, so it doesn't feel very winter. But this cohort started in January. These fellows applied back in the fall. And so it's been a long road for them to get to the point here today to share just a few minutes presentation with you. And we're hopeful that it will be the first conversation of many that they have with you. That as you watch these 3-minute recorded presentations and 2 minutes of live Q&A from our 8 fellows that we have presenting today, that you're inspired to help them take their next step in one way or another. Maybe you need to make a connection for them. Maybe you're a good customer for them. Maybe you know someone who would like to collaborate with them. And so don't hesitate to take those next steps after this showcase today. I mentioned we have 8 fellows. They're addressing issues as wide-ranging as diverse power equity in corporate settings. They're working on support structures for survivors of gender-based violence. They're working on sanitation issues in developing countries, early childhood education. You're going to be really inspired in the next hour that you've chosen to spend with us. And so we're really glad that you did. Rally is a unique network of municipalities, entrepreneurs, philanthropists, and mentors, all here in Central Florida, who have committed time, energy, and resources to help early stage social entrepreneurs take their next step. Because we believe that problems are worth solving and that social enterprise strategy has a unique ability to move the needle forward, addressing the toughest problems in our world. And so we built this network of people here in Central Florida where folks can come and plug in and move their social enterprise forward. Big help in doing that has been Rob Panapinto, our CEO and board chair, and we want to give him just a few minutes to say a little bit more about Rally and our supporters.
Thank you, Ben. Yeah, gosh, it's amazing. We've been doing this now for I guess we're on our 7th, I guess our 7th year, and it's so always exciting and inspiring to hear from these entrepreneurs. But I also think about the reach we've had. I mean, we founded this with an exclusive focus on our backyard in Central Florida and Orlando, both in terms of solving problems here and also bringing entrepreneurs here to address issues. And now we've expanded worldwide while still keeping a very focused eye on our community. So it's just always exciting to be here when we pull everyone together. But from the very beginning, this has been a community initiative and really brings the best of the business sector, the philanthropic sector, and the public sector together. That's always been our philosophy. Our belief is that to solve these problems for these entrepreneurs, it requires all 3 sectors working together, and we've reflected that in how we built the program and the support. And so I'd just like to spend a couple of minutes, thanking those folks who have helped us get to this point. First, our founding partners. We would not have been able to do this without the support of the Central Florida Foundation, which is the Orlando area's local community foundation. We're actually a nonprofit under the Central Florida Foundation banner. And to today, the foundation provides really critical both strategic and tactical support in terms of the operation of Rally. Rollins College, I don't know if there's anyone from Rollins on the call today, but Rollins has a very deep and longstanding focus on social impact and has been very influential in helping us with the design and curriculum of the programming that we've developed. Ben's organization, Credo, Rally was put together by kind of the putting together of an initiative that Ben started called Rally Makers, and an initiative that I started at the Central Florida Foundation called Entrepreneurs in Action. So both Credo and Entrepreneurs in Action were both critical parts of our founding. Clean the World, who's a local global social impact company led by a great CEO, Sean Seipler, was instrumental in helping us also develop the initial program and bring entrepreneurs to the table. And on the public side, the city of Orlando has been a supporter of ours from the very beginning. And I'll introduce someone from the city of Orlando in a few moments. I did mention public sector support, and that has been critical. Yes, the city of Orlando has been very involved from our founding, but as we really look to how we could grow and scale the program, the support of Orange County has been critical. That I think this is our third year now with Orange County, and I know Roseanne Harrington is here, and we'll speak in a couple of minutes about the important support the county gave us to really help broaden the program and grow it beyond where we were able to start with our initial founding. And then lastly, I would be remiss not to thank our rally makers. These are folks who give both their time and their treasure, many of which have been with us from the very beginning, or perhaps were members of Entrepreneurs in Action or Ben's Rally Makers program. So we have folks who've actually been with us now for close to 10 years in one form or another. And Ben likes to call these folks Central Florida's most innovative philanthropists. Largely, these are corporations in town or experienced entrepreneurs who just want to find ways to give back to the social impact entrepreneurs that we support through Rally. And again, they do that both through financial contributions to the program, but also a lot of their time in terms of helping us design the strategy for Rally, as well as the mentorship they provide to the entrepreneurs. And if anyone on this call is interested in becoming a Rally maker, they certainly can. Please reach out to Ben and myself. We'd be happy to share more. So with that, I would love to introduce Mike Hess. Um, Mike is the Director of Sustainability and Resiliency for the City of Orlando and also leads their Future Ready initiative, which has been an important partnership with the City of Orlando beyond the financial support that they give us. So Mike, I'll turn it over to you, and thank you, Ben.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rob. And yeah, if you're not familiar with our Future Ready program at the city, that's kind of our innovation initiative here at the city of Orlando. And that just means I'm lucky enough that I'm part of that team, that I get to be involved in our innovative work with the Rally Accelerator program. But I did also want to say apologies. We were hoping we could get Mayor Dyer here today, but he wasn't able to make it. So you are stuck with me instead. So hopefully I'll do okay in place of my boss. But I can say on behalf of the mayor and the whole city, wanted to welcome everyone to this virtual showcase. Wanted to congratulate all the Rally fellows from this winter 2024 cohort, because you're kind of wrapping it up and you've made it, and hopefully this program helps you transform your business and create some lasting connections and grow into some amazing businesses. I can tell you we are extremely grateful for our unique partnership with Rally. If anyone's not familiar with it, we get a chance to work with Erica and Ben and Kyle and all of the entrepreneurs throughout the program. So they really connect us to the entrepreneurs. And in working with Rally, we've set up a fund here at the city to be able to do pilot projects with a lot of the entrepreneurs that come out of the Rally program, specifically ones that align with our city goals. And so it gives us a chance to connect with people that are far more creative and have very different unique insights than we do as city government employees. So we just get a ton of value out of it and feel really lucky that we get to connect with a lot of the Rally fellows. I can say actually just in the past week alone, we've had some amazing collaborations with the Rally fellows. So this was all just last week. Wriggle Brew, who was in the summer 2022 group, just completed a project for us at the City of Orlando's McQuigg Urban Farm. Also last week, we agreed on a couple of pilot projects, one with Be Brave and another with Softly. Both of them are from the summer 2023 group. And actually, Wilbur's on from Be Brave. I know you're emailing me about the invoices we have to pay. I apologize. I've been busy the last couple of days and haven't gotten those processed yet, but we will. So we're really looking forward to those two pilots. And then last but not least, we actually had a really great discussion with Natasha from dotzz last week, and also with the Orlando Police Department to start wrapping our minds around a potential pilot project So honestly, just last week was amazing collaboration for us, all thanks to this rally partnership. And so, definitely want to
Awesome.
thank you all on behalf of the city and the mayor, for partnering with us on this. And again, welcome to the showcase. And I'm honestly really excited to learn more about the 2024 Winter Fellows today.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. I feel like the collaboration we have with the municipalities here is really unique and a really great feature of the Rally Network. Another key partner in that, besides the city of Orlando, we just heard from Mike Hess, is Orange County. And with us to say a few minutes about that is Orange County Mayor Jerry Deming's Chief of Staff, Ms. Roseanne Harrington.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to be here. Sorry, Mayor Demings could not make it, but he's a big supporter of the program. Orange County is probably best known for tourism, but we actually are a hub for social entrepreneur strategy. The mayor took over office in 2018, and he was a lifetime public servant, having been the sheriff and the police chief. And so he saw firsthand the impact of social issues in the community. So his goals when he took over were innovation, collaboration, and inclusion, and most importantly, a community that worked for everybody. And in 2020, we started our partnership with Rally. I still remember those days. We were coming out of the pandemic, and we realized that at that time, we needed to strengthen our social infrastructure. And the way to do that was to take all these great minds and all these people who had these wonderful ideas to address social issues. Many of the people leading these organizations had experienced some of these issues themselves, and they brought something different to the table. They brought firsthand experience. And that's what we really liked, especially that it was serving minorities and women that usually in tech startups are underrepresented. So that's what we really liked about the program. And we've been a partner since that time. And what we like about Rally is that it extends beyond the traditional business goals, fostering creation of sustainable ventures that generate positive social, environmental, and economic impact. And these social issues are what's going to make or break a community in the future. And we're all citizens of the world. So if we can help start programs here that benefits everybody around the world, it does us all good. So on behalf of Mayor Jerry Demings, I thank you for all the rally makers and all of the fellows, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Roseanne. It's great to hear from you. And I'm excited to get us into now our fellows. This is the Winter 2024 Fellows. You're going to hear from 8 of them. And our first one is KB. He's the CEO of Flushh.
Hello, everyone. My name is KV. I'm the CEO and founder of Flushh. Flushh is on a mission to accelerate the adoption of eco-toilets in Namibia for healthier communities. Now, I was not always this lucky. Before I started Flushh, I was studying accounting at UCT, and I decided to travel back to my home village to visit my grandmother. And it was during this trip that I witnessed the harsh realities of people living in underserved communities as I watched my grandmother walk 2 kilometers for her to find some privacy and a bush to defecate behind. Sadly, this story is not an anomaly, as more than 54% of Namibians practice open defecation, a problem that many nations in the developing world are struggling to achieve SDG 6. So, I'm super happy to share that my team and I have been working incredibly hard to solve this problem. At Flushh, we build innovative waterless toilets from locally sourced and recycled materials. Our impact model involves 4 key activities. Firstly, we work with local artisans from the community to build our eco-toilets. We then hire sanitation workers who service and maintain these toilets on a weekly basis. Thirdly, we safely transport the toilet waste to our facility where we transform it into biochar, which is like a fertilizer that can be sold back to smallholder farmers in the region. So a completely zero waste model, truly incredible. And since we started working with Rally C, we've been obsessed about impact data. And if there was one key indicator that we could keep track of to show our level of success, it would be the rate of open defecation in a community. And it is this same data that our key customer is super excited about. One of our revenue models is selling our eco-toilets for $1,000 per unit to the Ministry of Education, who then supplies these toilets to a school in a remote or rural setting. The school then makes an annual contribution of $4 per child. This is still so much cheaper than building expensive sewer systems. At Flushh, we're super lucky to have a team of ambitious and proximate leaders with over 20 years combined experience working in the development sector. And this gives us a unique insight to solve this problem. Finally, today we're looking for $20,000 that can be used towards a hygiene kit for schools, because we believe that better education can only be achieved through better sanitation. Join us in transforming more lives.
KB, good job, man. It's fun to see your
Thank you.
face. And I was just thinking about, you know, you started with us in the cohort in January, but that's not when you started working on Flushh. How long have you been working on this problem?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I've been working on Flushh for over 5 years.
Yeah.
It was when I went back to my home village to visit my grandmother. So it's been half a decade of love.
The other thing I love about this, and when you meet you realize it, it's a problem most people would ignore. And but so the determination to continue to tackle a problem that most people would ignore and to find a business model so that it sustains itself is really admirable. How would you say over the last 4 months your business strategy has evolved?
Yeah, one of the key things that I've learned a lot with working with Rally is finding a sustainable model to make sure that this solution can last over time. And we've been keeping track of our impact data, and that has also informed our business model on who's actually going to pay for this.
Yeah, it's tough building a social enterprise, building both sides. What would you say? You mentioned the kits, but what would you say is the next step or the next movement for Flushh? What are you looking to accomplish next?
Yeah, so right now we're in this position of replicating our activities at other areas in our region. So that means, we're adding more schools and more households, and we have to grow in 2 main areas, which is basically the team and also the organization. As we're replicating our activities, I'm a first-time founder. I don't know how to manage people and manage a family. And at the same time, the organization also has to have systems in place. So those are the things that we are excited about, replicating our model, but having to grow in this area.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it for you too. The idea of going to schools first and then spreading out from there is really smart, and I expect to see you hit the metrics, those goals of reducing open defecation. KB, thanks for coming through the program, and thanks for being here with us today. Thanks, KB.
Ben, thanks for your support. Appreciate it.
Our next Rally Fellow is Gigi Aulsebrook, and she's the new business director at Aseel Technology Corp.
My name is Gigi, and I'm representing Aseel, a tech startup reimagining how aid is delivered. Aseel is working towards effectively supporting people living in extreme poverty in underdeveloped communities and countries. Our UN SDG target is to eradicate poverty for all people everywhere. Our beneficiary are households headed by women living below the poverty line across underdeveloped communities. We estimate there are around 330 million female-headed households in these regions. The problem we're addressing is the lack of infrastructure that enables millions of people's ability to access the resources needed to stabilise and/or lift them out of poverty. The key activities Aseel conducts focuses on distributing aid directly to beneficiaries. We distribute cash, food items, shelter kits and educational resources, as well as create customisable and bespoke packages at clients' request. To measure the impact of our activities, we're measuring the number of households who skip meals per week, their level of income, as well as the increase of their purchasing power. We've identified two main customers, INGOs and US corporations with CSR and ESG missions. We believe the best place to start is INGOs due to the team's understanding of this customer segment. Key goals are maximising use of capital, helping as many people as effectively as possible, and engagement with local communities. Key problems are lack of access, lack of knowledge of how to engage with the local communities, as well as areas of operation, and the reliance on traditional aid infrastructure, which has been proven to be flawed and ineffective. So this comes to our solution. We present Aseel Institution, a fully integrated humanitarian online delivery system. It provides stakeholders with end-to-end delivery service, aid tracking and reporting, as well as access through the use of local community engagement. We deliver the products, we have resources, and we have packaged aid in specific ways based on the needs that we've assessed. Then we price it. Our overhead is included in the price of the package, and this is all bundled up and the customer pays for this. We valued the INGO market at 270 billion. There are at least 40,000 INGOs globally, and we estimate around 50% of these organisations are engaging in similar work to us. Since we charge 20% with each transaction, our total addressable market is 27 billion. Since the soft launch of Aseel Institution, we have onboarded 36 INGOs and delivered 1,146 packages. Key team members include, of course, the founder, Nasrat, as well as our leadership team, which is 9 people strong, including Salma, who's key for leading the account acquisition for the Aseel Institution. Our ask is simple. We want introductions to partners that you think could benefit to our system. We are also looking for an advisor to support and refine our social impact strategy. And finally, we need investment to allow us to continue to push our mission forward. We believe our solution is crucial to the effective progression of the humanitarian system. Aseel is looking to disrupt and transform the system for the better. Thanks for listening.
Gigi, thanks for putting that. I was very curious to see how we got Aseel into 3 minutes, but I think you did a pretty good job, which is awesome. But we can't hear you. There you go. Now we can hear you. Tell me, like, what's one thing that you think has evolved about Aseel in the 4 months that you've been with us?
I think the focus, I think some of the biggest challenges that we face is communicating what we are trying to do. And I think a lot of the stuff that we do is plentiful. And something that I've worked with yourself and Kyle, as well as Sean, who's sitting in this call, I hope, is sort of talking about how we can refine the mission itself and be more focused with communicating it.
Yeah, I think that, like, bespoke delivery of critical aid in disaster areas is really compelling. And you mentioned working with INGOs. Those INGOs that you onboard, what does that mean? What does it mean that you're working with INGOs?
So international non-governmental organizations, they work with us as being accounts. They have their own profile within the system, and they're able to create their own packages and identify certain people within the system. We're able to do the work for them. Because we do slightly different things, we do sort of the more development aspect of things and the more emergency response things. It's linking that, and that's also been another positive thing through the scheme. Yourself and myself sort of came up with our own sort of Maslow's hierarchy of needs with the triangle, which is still under development, but I should have shown that in the presentation, about how we're trying to lift people out of poverty, because just because we give someone something doesn't mean they're out of poverty. It's achieving sustenance and then hopefully achieving sustainability in the long run through the resources and the services we can provide.
It's really beautiful, you know, when you see disaster areas and you want to imagine how to help. These huge NGOs and international NGOs spring up to try and deliver aid. And then what you're saying is they end up hiring a more nimble company like Aseel to actually get on the ground and deliver this aid. And then soon Aseel's making the commitment to try and walk alongside those recipients to move them not just out of disaster response, but out of poverty altogether?
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest strengths that we have is low overhead, which is something that is rare in the humanitarian system.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be as high as 60%, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And people always talk about not wanting to give money to people to people on the ground or like individuals, but then you'll give it to organizations to not know what the overhead costs are. And also access is a big thing that we have. We've got a huge local base of people that support us with the work that we do, so we don't have to do it. Someone like myself doesn't need to be there. We can have people there from the community themselves engaging and developing their own communities.
Yeah, the integrity all the way through is really fun to see, and the energy. So knowing that you guys are not going to give up on this job, but keep trying to figure out how to get aid into the hardest places. Gigi, thanks for coming through the program and being here today.
Thank you.
Our next fellow is Daryl Holman. He's the CEO of Revival Inc.
Hi, I'm Daryl, founder of Revival. Our company helps consumers buy out their debt for the discounted rates it's traded for on the aftermarket, unlocking savings as high as 90%. Our focus is on the economic inclusion of all, with a focus on UN SDG 10.2. And our specific focus is the secondary financial markets, which are particularly hazardous for subprime and deep subprime consumers. I have a lived experience with this problem. I graduated with more than $100,000 in student debt, which pushed me to get active, and I went on to design the websites for two of the leading organizations in the fight against student debt, and also serving as a U.S. Senate panelist on the issue. And so one of the bigger focuses from it was that student debt was just a small part of the problem. What actually really needed to be solved was the experience that subprime and deep subprime consumers have. And so our target customer has below 600 credit score and makes less than $60,000 a year. And this is more than 57 million consumers across the United States who are subjected to predatory interest rates and kind of eluded pathways to wealth building and home ownership. So like I mentioned, it wasn't just me, it wasn't just student debt, it was an overall problem that totaled out to more than $15 trillion that expands every year. And so what we set out to do was build a pathway into the secondary market for consumers. And so basically what we're doing is we're using API data to price consumers' loans. We help them put in buyout offers on their debt, unlocking savings as high as 90%. And our business model is taking a 1.5 to 4% transaction fee from those buyout offers. And so when you look at our traction to date, we've been able to eliminate more than $2 million in debt for people through grants, and eliminating more than $70,000 in debt from our pilot. And just to dive deeper into our data, 92% are low income. Our average value created is $1,500 with a 5 to 25 point credit increase. This is all happening in less than 6 months. And so one of the things that we've noticed in the market is that no one has really been able to create both debt relief and a positive impact on the credit score. And although no one has been able to do that, we're still managing to do that faster, which makes our technology truly transformative. And people are taking notice. We're backed by the Tides Foundation, the Robert Henn Foundation, as well as Andreessen Horowitz Talent and Opportunity Fund, alongside a host of other angels who want to see the financial system work better for people. Me and our CTO, we connected over wanting to buy out our own debt. And we ended up pairing up with advisors who had industry experience for more than 20 years in debt brokerage and loan rehabilitation. And so our ask is connection to community lenders, community banks, anybody who's focused on doing credit repair and financial empowerment, because we truly want to continue on our mission of expanding opportunity and access for all. Thank you. What's up with this music going on, man?
Daryl, I love that presentation. I was like, it's another one where I was like, I'm curious to see how Daryl's going to get Revival into 3 minutes. But I feel like you did a really cool job explaining how you came to the problem, where you realized you had this debt that was out of order and going to be crippling for you long term. And then you saw that it was a cultural, like there was a society level problem that was big. And then the thing that's interesting to me and has been over the 4 months working with you is how kind of opaque the financial industry is and how hard it is to find the solutions. And so It's very cool. And maybe just a brief minute on what motivates you to use financial knowledge to accomplish this social good. Like where does that motivation come from?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is the key insight that like you know, for some people it can be cheaper to own your debt than it is to pay it off. And I think that like that's an opportunity for like a software that brings people together to take advantage of that. Just so you can put money back in people's hands and get people like I guess like off that path where they spend like their entire life paying off debt. We just think things can work differently.
Awesome. And at the end, you were asking about like connections to community lenders and talk to us about how that helps you. What does those introductions get you? What are you looking for in your next step?
Yeah, so one of the things that in terms of like when people are looking to build like a successful community bank, one of the things that they're thinking about most is like wraparound services. What are the things like in people's lives that like cause them to be like a better, I guess, like clients to lend to? And one of the things that like comes up most often is that like they got a bunch of other people who they're trying to pay off. And like one of the things that you'll realize on that journey is like, you know, the community lender, like they're the good people. The thing is like the rest of the people who they're taking loans from, they are not. And those interest rates can get as high as like 400%. It sounds like a joke, but like it's real. Like people are dealing with that. And so the thing is like those loans can be bought out for a fraction of the price. You just need people willing to like get in the game, give them the loan money that they need to buy out those loans. And those are the kind of partnerships that we want because ultimately, in the end, it helps them develop a better lending practice as well.
Awesome. Well, Daryl, I know that if anyone can tackle the problem, you can do it. And I'm excited to see where Revival goes next. Thanks for taking the time to be with us these last 4 months, Daryl.
Yeah.
Awesome. Our next Rally Fellow from the Winter 2024 cohort is Mary Zhu, and she's the CEO at Develop for Good.
Hi, my name is Mary Zhu, and I'm the founder and executive director of Develop for Good. I'm based out of San Francisco, California, and I'm so excited to tell you more about my nonprofit. To start, I'll go over our theory of change. Develop for Good is a 501c3 nonprofit that supports diverse college students as they build tech for nonprofits under industry mentorship. Our college students gain valuable technical experience, corporate mentors donate their technical skills, and nonprofits get quality custom digital services. The UN Sustainable Development Goal that we fulfill is number 8, decent work and economic growth for our college students. So our primary beneficiary is underserved and underrepresented college students. Breaking into the tech world is tough, and it's much harder for underserved and underrepresented college students. Without a portfolio of tech projects, minority students are at a severe disadvantage when it comes to tech recruiting, perpetuating generational cycles of poverty and the lack of diversity in tech. And so, I paired the needs of college students with the needs of nonprofits and the resources provided by tech companies and founded Develop for Good. We are an impact flywheel. We pair teams of talented, diverse college students to work on tech projects for nonprofits and partner with tech companies to engage their industry professionals as mentors to our students. This ensures quality work and also gives diverse students exposure to tech companies. Since spring 2020, we've dedicated an estimated 169,000 volunteer hours to nonprofits, saving them $7.8 million in development costs. We've engaged over 2,500 students and mentors, with the vast majority of our students being underserved or underrepresented in tech. Now, to give you an overview of our business model, our primary customer is nonprofits in need of tech services. For nonprofits, tech services are very inaccessible because of their high cost and the low budgets of nonprofits. So our solution is building an AI-driven edtech platform that houses an end-to-end project development experience for our students and mentors as they build tech for nonprofits. In terms of how we are financially sustainable, we have two main revenue sources. First, we generate project revenue from the nonprofits that we serve. And second, we partner with tech companies and generate revenue from our employee volunteer engagement services. In terms of validation, some of our incredible nonprofit clients and partners include some very large global organizations, as well as some more local and smaller nonprofit organizations. Our team is also led by a fantastic group of amazing technologists, including some legends in the tech industry. My ask to the rally community is any warm intros to social impact leaders at tech companies or VCs. So these are some of our existing partners below. So anyone who works in corporate social responsibility or employee volunteer engagement or anything along that line, a warm intro would go such a long way. And thank you so much for just taking the time to learn more about Develop for Good.
Mary, great presentation. I was like smirking at the 2,500 volunteers that you're through. That's an amazing number. I know that you run a program through the summer, right? Can you talk a little bit about your calendar, how many you engage and when you're engaging them real quick for us?
Yeah, so we just kicked off our most recent summer 2024 batch like last week, and we welcomed over 400 new individuals to our program. And so my hands are quite full just balancing that, I guess just that flood of new faces and new people to work with. And that's around our capacity twice a year. But we're planning with the help of like internal technology that we're developing to scale our model further, we're hoping to increase that capacity by a lot more.
Awesome. So twice a year, you bring together almost 400 college students from all over the country. You put them on teams, and then they provide tech services to nonprofits with mentorship from corporate executives and management level people. That's amazing. Yeah. And at the end of your presentation, your ask was for introductions to people in the CSR space. Can you talk about what that does for you? What would a CSR person, why would they want to talk to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So CSR people, so corporate social responsibility folks, so any folks who lead social impact at a company, they're our ideal partners. And they're kind of the way that we can make all of this work. And so we actually engage industry professionals with from different companies through like their social impact or CSR divisions. And that is like a huge source of just like I guess like how we're able to remain sustainable and how we can make just these key partners with the companies that have a lot of resources in terms of mentorship and also being able to support our program financially. So any introductions or like intros to folks who work in CSR and are interested in getting their industry employees like engaged in mentoring students would just be a tremendously helpful and kind of a win-win situation for us and Develop for Good.
Yeah, I love that. What we're finding in that screen that you put up there shows that companies that match your description that have CSR impact goals tend to align with the goals for Develop for Good, so you can partner together, and then you have skill-based volunteer opportunities for those employees, which is really awesome. Last question, what's next for you, Mary? What's the big hill that you're trying to climb next?
Yeah, so I kind of referenced earlier, but we're really trying to double down on developing our internal software, basically AI-driven cloud software to really scale our model and to be able to serve as many college students and nonprofits and engage as many industry professionals as we possibly can. And so I think that's the key unlock to indefinite scale, and that's what we're really focusing on.
Yeah, awesome, because you're working with nonprofits and college students from all over the country, and you're matching them together on teams, and that sounds like a spreadsheet nightmare. So I think that would be cool. Mary, thanks for taking the time to be with us today, and thanks for going through the program. It was great to work with you.
Thank you. I'm so grateful to Rally for everything that I've learned. So thank you so much, Ben.
Yeah, thank you. We want to pause our presentations for just a minute now and let you hear from one of our rally makers, Marissa Caravellas. And Rob mentioned at the beginning, our board chair, Rob Banapinto, mentioned at the beginning that part of the way Rally exists, and a lot of the way, is these rally makers. We call them rally makers. They're the people that make Rally possible. I call them Orlando's most innovative philanthropists, and Marissa is one of those. Marissa, thanks for taking a few minutes to be with us today.
Sure. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I think you were going to ask me a couple questions, so you go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. I was just going to say, what got you started in rally? What piqued your interest about becoming a rally maker?
So I will say it kind of goes back to the Credo days.
Yeah.
And when my husband and I first met you at the coffee shop that was name your own price, and you had
Yeah.
newspapers that said reject apathy. And so, we were very intrigued about your mission and what you were trying to do in the Orlando community. So after a few years, I think you and my husband spoke about linking up to be a rally maker, and my other half, Dean Carvelis, and I do this together. He's the quintessential bootstrapper entrepreneur. And so he said, Marissa, we should do this together. You have a lot to offer as well. I'm the more introverted entrepreneur in my career. But we have fun doing this, and in our own little way, help, support these individuals that are trying to change the world with their skill sets and their passions. So it's been fun, and we have a good time supporting Rally.
Yeah, Marissa, that I feel like is a common thread among all the rally makers. There's probably around 20 of you. And that notion of we want to be people who reject apathy, who don't sit on the sidelines and watch things happen, but do whatever we can in whatever space we can, believing we can make an impact for good, which is really awesome. I think you got to work with Mary some. I know that you worked with Sam with Wiggle Brew some. What do you like about working with the fellows? What's fun about that, or challenging or interesting about that?
Yeah, so this round I spent quite a bit of time with Delroy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we were kind of in a similar space. He's working on equity and inclusion in the corporate sector, and I'm in employee development and HR side. So we made some introductions of some circles within Orlando that there's lots of professional networks that are people that come together to continuing their education, and getting Delroy introduced into that group to get feedback on his project and his software on how he could get it into corporate environments or nonprofits. It was a nice linkage there. We also did work with Sam in the past. He he had an impromptu meeting with us at our dinner table, and Sam, for my past employer, was an ag, and Sam is to do with fertilizer, and so made some connections. He came in to talk with some real farmers and get their input, and so yeah, it's fun, and it's insightful how much you can help these individuals through your tenure of time and the connections you make, and what would be helpful for them. You'd be surprised that there's quite a bit you can help them on their journey.
Awesome. Marissa, I that is a common thing I hear from the rally makers. Sometimes they feel surprised at what the way they're able to help. And just for you, I know that you have been a significant help to the rally fellows that you check in with. So we're really grateful that you're a rally maker, and glad that you're able to spend a few minutes with us here today, Marissa. Thank you for coming by.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks, Ben.
Awesome. And our next rally fellow from winter 2024 is Delroy Waugh. He's the CEO at ADIBE Collaborative in Orlando.
Hi, everyone. My name is Daryl, Waugh, and I'm the CEO of ADIBE Collaborative, a DEI learning and consulting firm. And we believe that organizations prosper when everyone has an opportunity to thrive. And we focus on UN SDGs Target 10.3.1, equal opportunity and reduce inequalities, and Target 16.7.2, inclusive decision making. Our beneficiaries are the 44 million women employees, the 29 million BIPOC employees, and the 22 million neurodivergent employees in corporations and organizations in the US. And for us, the problem is that these beneficiaries that we've identified have a harder time advancing through organizations in corporate America. We want to help them figure out why that is, and so we provide an assessment, learning resources, and follow-up in order to help them understand how to navigate those spaces. They need to take the assessment, engage, reflect, and implement the strategies that we suggest. And then the ultimate outcomes is increased awareness of their cultural standings and cultural competencies, and then how they can use that understanding to better navigate diverse teams and to better lead diverse teams as well, opening up opportunities for everyone in organizations. Our key indicators are we're looking at impact on long-term behavior, impact on their PQ score over time that they'll get from the assessment, engagement with learning resources over a period of time, and the net promoter score for the session. For a customer segment, we want to target organizations that already have a DEI structure in place and help them to build and strengthen their strategies and their learning resources. Specifically, we're looking at targeting health equity and financial equity companies with those strategies in place already, as well as identifying channel partners who are already working with our other two customer types to help us get these resources out to a much wider audience more quickly. So for us, the opportunity is all around the fact that hiring diverse talent isn't enough anymore. And folks in organizations are already saying diversity is doing well. We want more work on inclusion. And we know that inclusion is what unlocks the innovation and the work in all our teams, right? To the tune of a 50% increase in performance, a 50% decrease in turnover, and a 70% decrease in sick days. And if managers are looking for this missing piece, and how they can maximize employee engagement and effectiveness and accelerate innovations on their teams, it's all going to be about multicultural intelligence. And so what we do is we come in and we administer an assessment so folks can understand where they are. We deliver a workshop to walk folks through the nuances of how to implement the strategies and suggestions they're going to learn. Then we provide individualized learning resources and follow up and individual coaching as necessary for additional costs. Right now, the model is $2,500 for one of our workshops for up to 20 employees, and they'll get the test, the personalized results, the action plan, and the async resources. We have about a $1.75 billion opportunity if we can get each organization to purchase one of our sessions, and an $80 million strategy if we can get each channel partner out there to purchase one of our sessions or to use it with someone else. We've worked with lots of organizations on this. Specifically, we're seeing lots of focus in the health equity space. And so we want to continue to target this space as the organization grows. We're a small team of two with myself and my COO, Christine Terrell. And our ask right now is we need more people to take the assessment. We have some free sessions coming up. So if you'd like to attend one of those, scan the QR code. We'd love to hear some feedback and thoughts. We're also looking for connections to organizations that serve women, BIPOC, and neurodivergent beneficiaries that we can get in touch with. We're looking to start a nonprofit to go alongside our social enterprise. So anyone with any advice for that would be very helpful. And we'd like to raise $15,000. And so if you're interested in donating PQ to an organization, let us know. And the goal for us is to get to a space where, again, everyone in an organization can thrive and they have the resources that they need. And we think ADIBE and the PQ assessment can help organizations do that. Thank you.
Delroy, good work, man, getting that down into the presentation. Thank you for doing it. And I like pointing out for people that traction in the health equity space. So you've been selling this for a while. What do you feel like is your next step with the ADIBE? What's the next mountain you want to climb?
Yeah, I feel like we have so many mountains to climb.
Sure.
But one of the things, through the rally experience, at least for us, is what we're seeing is we need to spend some time figuring out like what the assessment looks like and how we get that to be a standalone resource that's impactful, even though that's not the path that we're going to go down for the resources. Like what we've learned from a lot of this customer discovery is that we're going to need to put some work into that. And so we're refocusing on sort of the validation of that. And we're super excited about the work that we're doing with Pete Learning, who's going to be able to like build out the learning resources for us. But we need to put some work into the validation of the test, because a lot of the benefit we're getting now is from that workshop, and that workshop just isn't a scalable model. So
yeah, of course, we'll do more workshops, but our next thing is to validate that PQ test that you guys have developed on your own, which is so cool, and have been using in companies to identify this new metric, the power quotient in the space, which you talked about, maximizing innovation and streamlining effectiveness on teams, which is really awesome. Delroy, your work is inspiring. Thanks for coming through the program with the ADIBE, man.
Yeah, thank you. We've
Awesome.
learned a lot, and we're very excited to keep going.
Awesome. Thanks, Delroy. We'll watch for what's next for sure. Our next founder is Patrick Burton. He's the CEO for Benvision.
Hi there, my name is Patrick Burton. I'm based in a small town called Troutdale, Oregon, and I'm CEO and co-founder of a company called Benvision. Simply put, we believe that visually impaired people deserve dignity and autonomy as a basic human right, but we have a rather unique approach to deliver those basic rights to them. Here's what our theory of change looks like. Our social mission is to give the visually impaired their mobility and independence back, one unique harmony at a time. Our UN Sustainable Development Goal is 10.2, empower and promote the social, economic, and political inclusion of all, irrespective of their disabilities or any other status. Our beneficiaries, of course, are the 32.2 million Americans who are living with vision loss. So the problem is that losing your vision makes the entire world dangerous to navigate. As a result of this, many visually impaired individuals understandably become anchored to their homes, leading to isolation, anxiety, and depression. So what we provide to them is an app that allows them to safely navigate and enjoy their surroundings using music, essentially transforming objects into virtual speakers. It's not dissimilar from a technique like echolocation or sonar, but instead of beeps and clicks, they hear beautiful music. We take several metrics to measure our success, such as app engagement, frequency of use, duration of use, distance traveled while using the app, and their reported quality of life based on surveys. Now for the business model. So our customers are any business in the tourism and attractions industry, really, but for the sake of our numbers, we're just going to focus on these three. So we've got museums, amusement parks, and convention centers. The goals of these enterprises are pretty straightforward. They want their guests to have a positive experience, they want them to have a safe experience, and they want to be in compliance with the ADA laws, lest they open themselves up to a lawsuit. Our solution works like this. We create a digital twin of your venue, and then we drop musical waypoints on the most important features of your space, and then we integrate your map directly into our app, or if you prefer, we build an integration into yours. This creates an elevated, enjoyable, and fully customizable experience to your guests. It improves their safety by efficiently communicating all of their surroundings to them at the same time, which allows them enhanced autonomy, making you a champion of inclusivity and accessibility. Look at you go. Our solution costs $1 per square foot per year. And again, conservatively limiting our calculation to just theme parks, conference centers, and museums, the market potential is quite large. And that's not just my opinion, it's the TAM truth. In terms of validation, we have a $15,000 letter of intent from the Oral Hole Foundation for the Blind, based right here in Oregon, where I am. And then Good Maps, probably our closest competitor in terms of the solution that we're building. They report a 3.5 million seed round on Crunchbase, while IRA, our largest competitor, has reportedly raised 35.6 million funding to date. Now, the team. I myself am a marketing solopreneur of over 10 years who led my top client RepairSmith to a successful exit just last year. Heading our audio department, Subin graduated summa cum laude from Berklee College of Music and boasts an illustrious career composing scores for film and audio design for games. Our CTO, Aditya, is a seasoned developer and rapid prototyper who has taught dozens of courses on CircuitStream. Dr. Liu, our CFO and CMO, is a serial hackathon winner, touting both an MBA and an MD, making him an excellent utility player on our team. And Jaden, of course, our accessibility researcher, is CPAC certified with a long history of public service to the blind community. We also have advisors from Inclusivity Champions Microsoft and XR Access, and members of the blind community as well. Our fundraising goal is quite modest at 1.5 million, but if you're not looking to invest today, we would still appreciate connections with guest experience professionals in the tourism industry. And that's it. Thank you for your time. I'm done.
You gave us the TAM truth, which is awesome, Patrick.
Yep.
Hey, good job, man. The idea of guiding through space with custom composed sounds that match with physical objects is so kind of inspiring. And seems like it has so many applications. It's been really fun to work with you and try and narrow down and go, what's our next, really very next step? And what's our path towards revenue generation that also matches our mission? If you were going to describe your very next step, like what are you doing next week? How would you describe that?
Yeah, we're gearing up for a conference circuit, or another conference, I guess I should say. We're doing a hard launch of our enterprise product, what I just described with all the waypoints and the conference centers and all that, at a conference called AWE, Augmented World Expo. And so there's going to be like a huge press presence. We're up for something called an Augie Award. You can go vote for that at ben.vision/Augie, by the way.
Awesome.
But yeah. So we have a lot of eyes on us.
So you're ready to start delivering that product now, where you do the digital twin, geolocate them, and then map the sound of objects with sounds.
Yeah, we're starting as a pilot program, but we in the next couple of weeks we'll be ready to launch that.
The next couple of weeks I count as today. Good work, Patrick. It's been fun to work with you, man, and thanks for being here with us today.
Thanks so much, Ben. Likewise.
Our next Rally Fellow from the Winter 2024 cohort is Ciro Muiruri, and she is the founder of Pendo School.
Hi everyone, my name is Ciro Muiruri, founder of Pendo International Project, a hybrid organization registered in Canada with operations in Kenya. We believe that every child, no matter where they are from, deserves the best start in life. Due to underfunding, the early learning sector remains mainly privatized in Kenya. This has led to a high demand for unregulated daycare centers, which rely on fees paid by parents. And because of their informal and unregulated nature, they tend to offer poor quality services, which puts children at risk of abuse and neglect. Our work aligns with UN SDG Goal 4, and our specific target is 4.2. Our Center of Excellence is called Pendo School Kenya, where we offer a comprehensive learning approach using evidence-based teaching methodologies. We provide 3 meals a day and offer transport services at an affordable rate. As an organization, we recognize that the early learning gap in Kenya is systemic, and we cannot solve this problem alone. So to address this challenge, we are providing an early childhood education business accelerator training course that equips center owners with the tools they need to run sustainable businesses, and we also equip them with early childhood care and education training skills, which ultimately benefits them as well as the children under their care. Our Center of Excellence has grown from 6 children to 150 children in 3 years. And for the last 2 years, we have offered 4 teacher training sessions annually for free, thanks to the support we have received from a Hungarian organization called Nesting Play. The free services ends this semester, and the good news is that our customer discovery reveals that women running informal daycare centers are willing to pay for the services that we offer. In the next 27 years, Africa will be home to 40% of all the children in the world. We strongly believe that this booming population growth is not a challenge, but a massive opportunity to give the next generation a great start in life. And experts are also telling us that the brain exhibits a high degree of neural plasticity during early childhood. And that is why early learning provides a great foundation for future success. The demand for our current school exceeds our capacity. We have been fundraising since 2022 to build this multi-purpose facility that will serve as a community center, an early learning school, and a training center for teachers. These are some of our partners who are based all over the world. We collectively have a high competent team of 18 paid staff and 11 volunteers. The construction of our new facility started in January, and every dollar helps us to get closer to our target. And there are many ways that you can support us in giving children a hand up, not a handout. Thank you for your attention.
Good work on that presentation, Ciro. It's good to see the whole story laid out in slides. And just to recap, you're running an early childhood education center. You figured out when you deliver quality early childhood education that families in these markets will pay for that. You're training other women who are running ad hoc early childhood education centers how to do that. You found also that those women now will pay you for that training. And you're building a new building in order to house your school and that training center and really equip your country to do early childhood education center the way it ought to be done. Fair?
Absolutely.
Awesome. And so your persistence to get to that has been really inspiring. What would you say if you had to give an example of one thing that motivates you to keep pushing on this problem? What would you say? How would you describe that one thing that motivates you?
Yeah, I would say that the problem that I'm trying to solve is very personal to me because I was born and brought up in one of the largest slums in Kenya. And, you know, I became an AIDS orphan at a young age. And my parents really believed in educating us. So they ensured we started school very early. And because I am here today and I'm not living in the slum, it means that early childhood education is actually the key to unlocking the potential that all children actually innately have. So that's what keeps me going, because knowing that if I made it out of the slum, other kids have the possibility to do the same.
Agree. It's a compelling story, Ciro, and I believe you will stop at nothing besides getting it done. So it's been fun to get to work with you these last 4 months, and thanks for being with us here today. We have one more fellow for you. So listen up. It's Natasha Johnson. She's the CEO at dotzz.
Hi, my name is Natasha Johnson, the proud founder and creator of dotzz, where we believe that when organizations connect the dots, they improve the organizational speed and effectiveness, moving gender-based violence survivors toward better outcomes. Welcome to our world. dotzz was created in response to a number of social, environmental, and economic issues. Socially, any individual is at the risk of experiencing gender-based violence in their lifetime. Environmentally, gender-based violence service delivery requires it to be accessible, inclusive, comprehensive, non-judgmental, real-time, and relevant. And economically, when funds are restricted, premium safety tools become less of a priority to increase workability. Our UNSGD goal is number 5. We work to achieve gender equality and to empower all women and girls. The dotzz beneficiary are individuals who are experiencing or have encountered gender-based or intimate partner violence. It takes up to 8 attempts before a survivor successfully extricates themselves from violence. And at dotzz, we consider having to make up to 8 attempts to get to safety the problem. Survivors experience regular difficulties, delays, and unclarity extricating themselves from violence. In response, we've created a mobile app that allows beneficiaries to discreetly and rapidly connect to support, manage their cases and documents, and facilitate communication with supporting agencies and individuals at no cost to the survivor. dotzz partners with service provider agencies so they can facilitate efficient and seamless case management. We're looking at a number of indicators, some of which you can see here, to make sure that dotzz works. Our target potential customer are mid to large size law enforcement organizations in cities with minimum populations of 300,000 that already actively support gender-based violence survivors. We know that working in this sector poses many obstacles. Some of our customer pain points that we know dotzz can address are listed here. The dotzz fix means that we offer discrete real-time information for our survivors. We keep important documents secure. We help gender-based violence organizations stay in regular contact with their clients and provide survivors with the tools to safety plan and confidence. Survivors can log incidents in up to 8 languages and follow a gender-based violence specific glossary to help with terms. dotzz is priced to sell, keeping rates affordable while ensuring that these fees allow us to maintain this important safety tool. dotz's total available market is calculated at $3,004,095,250. You can see here how we got to that number. dotzz has experienced 2 years of steady success, participating in 3 Impact Innovation Accelerator programs, winning 2 pitch competitions, fostering a gender-based violence-centric tech ecosystem in New York City, and currently pitching a pilot partnership with a local target customer. Fingers crossed that we have good news to share soon. Here's a look at our team. We're small but mighty, but we're serious about reducing the national number of attempts to 1, and think we can meet that bodacious goal with your support. To accomplish this, we specifically want to work with you, and we're looking for pilot partners. On that note, justice is swifter once you connect the dots to safety. You can reach me at natasha@dotzz.io. I'm looking forward to hearing from you soon, and thank you so much for listening.
Natasha, great work on that presentation. You got through a lot. One of the things that's always humbling about me and that I'm always humbled by you is how deep your knowledge is on this sector. Like it is robust and disheartening, kind of the further you go down into it. So I'm curious, you've been working in this space a while. What gives you hope as you try and address the needs of gender-based violence survivors?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Ben. I mean, I've been in this sector for 25 years. I hate to say that number because it means I'm older than 25.
Yeah. You started when you were 5. Yeah.
That part. But
Yeah.
actually, that's what my TED Talk is called. Feminism starts at 5. Check it out. But suffice it to say, what keeps me enrolled in it is really the survivors, right? It's their resiliency that informs me. And it's really their resiliency that actually informed me about what features were going to be appropriate and were going to make the most sense for that. So everything that you see with respect to what we offer as a tool is really because of the powerful listening of survivors and making sure that I was closing some of those gaps for them in the loops that they already experienced.
Cool. Yeah, I believe that. Your rollout strategy has evolved a little bit over the 4 months, and you asked for a couple introductions. Can you just clarify those introductions that you're looking for?
Yeah, certainly. We decided, our role here at Rally has really been super informative. We actually ended up having to dial back to scale up. And what that meant was really thinking about how we could offer this service as a companion tool as unobtrusively as possible. And so really that starts out with dotzz just really becoming an email. And so once that email gets sent to a service provider, a gender-based violence service provider, they're immediately plugged in with that client and then can continue that relationship moving forward. And so it requires really no lift at all for our potential partners, and really allows for them to have a third and hopefully very seamless way to be able to get plugged into survivors very discreetly, as opposed to having the survivor having to reach out to them or having to have an external partner make that referral, which is historically how that happens currently.
So the connections you're looking for are with organizations that provide services to gender-based violence survivors?
Correctly. And we're looking for, and that could be in the mental health space, that can be in the legal space, the law enforcement space, the nonprofit space, or the housing space.
Awesome. Well, I do not think your 25 years were wasted. I'm excited to see what comes from it. More is to come, Natasha. Thanks for being with us these last 4 months.
Thank you for having me.
Yep. We have one last conversation we want to feature for you, and that's with past Rally fellow Joey Genovese. And we just want to get a progress update from him on his company Kalumi. Is Joey still with us?
I'm here.
Oh, awesome. But I can't see you. There you are. Hey, bud. Tell us what's going on with Kalumi. You came through the Rally program a year ago and are pushing these hyper efficient LED lights. And tell us about where you're at.
Sure. So about 2 weeks ago, we celebrated 1 year from our pilot installation a couple blocks from here. I was just there this morning checking it out, and it's been a success.
Awesome.
The lights are operating exactly how they're supposed to. Like I said, they've been there for a year, and it's been an opportunity to bring potential clients by. So it's like a showroom, but also an opportunity to actually go through the manufacturing process, get them installed, do some studies and some tests on them, and really put them to the test, where we took all of that data and updated the lights, and now we're going into production. So we have a couple really big commercial projects starting in Q1 of 2025. So we are ramping up production now. We had a couple meetings down in the garage today. Actually, I was thinking I was going to be late to this because of it, but we've got a couple really big projects here locally too. So, fingers crossed everything works out, but we are moving fast.
Awesome. You can see Joey's showcase video on our website, rallysca.com, and there you get a little bit of his story. As a photographer, he saw the problem with LED lights, put on his engineer brain and partner with engineers to redesign them so that they're hyper efficient and cast light better. And then through the Future Ready program with the city of Orlando, we found a pilot customer in a parking garage in the city of Orlando, which is where Joey is right now. And that's leading to these other customer projects. Joey, we're really proud of Kalumi and want to see you keep moving forward.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for being here, bud.
No problem.
Last thing we want to make sure that you know about is like, we are really grateful that this is a group and community effort. Municipalities, rally makers, funders, academics, entrepreneurs, innovators that bring all of this forward. A couple of things you should know, our applications are open now for our summer 2024 cohort. They close the end of this month on May 26th. You can find that on our website, rallysea.com. Apply. We just check it out. The application is not burdensome or hard. We'd love to see your applications come through there. And you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn for all the latest updates on cohorts, company success, and more. Thanks for being with us for this winter 2024 showcase.